For those that don't know me, my name is Steve, and I want to try a new approach to my YouTube channel and give you a deeper inside look of my spiritual awakening story and the transformational path that I've been on for some time now. For anyone going through this, I want to let you know that you're not alone, that whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're feeling is completely normal as you continue to embark on your own transformational path and step into your most authentic self. So I've been embracing my spiritual journey for the last 5 years now, and when I left my corporate career working in professional sports 5 years ago, my energy started to shift in a big way. I started tapping into personal growth, healing modalities, and I was unlocking all these different parts of myself, and my energy started to open up in a really big way. And during this time, I was getting different messages in my dreams, both how to heal myself and from people that have passed away. And throughout the journey, I became a life coach, I became a business coach, and a breathwork facilitator. And I thought I had life all figured out. I was going to go down this path, help people. I was loving it. And I thought this was the life I was going to be living forever. Well, I was in for a rude awakening, and this past year and a half, my energy really started to awaken. So what happened was, after my birthday, I came down with COVID, and during this time, I committed to a new breathwork training, which was somatic breathwork. And additionally, I was also going through this intense meditation journey, learning and practicing Kriya Yoga, which is a practice developed by Paramahansa Yogananda. And then right before the holidays in 2023, that's when everything erupted. I had a dark night of the soul, and my emotions, all these emotions that I suppressed for years, came up. I felt it all. It was the most intense and challenging time of my life, both emotionally, mentally, physically. I felt lost. I felt like I had no purpose and really just had no meaning left in life. I was like, what am I doing here? During this time, we had just had my son, so I had all the responsibilities of being a new dad, plus the challenges of being a new dad, and it was the most challenging thing I've ever went through. And I thought it would pass after a week or so, but it kept going on for a few months, and then realizing that I was in this spiritual depression and just trying to make it by. I had nothing left to do but to get on my knees and to really just pray. I really got on my knees and just prayed to God to help me, and that I would do anything. And my family didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what was going on. So it was just really challenging to express this. I felt really raw. I felt really, really vulnerable. I was really isolated and avoidant. And my emotions became the biggest challenge as I was so overwhelmed with all these emotions, and I didn't have an outlet to express it, which was the big challenge. And during this time, I realized by releasing all this stuck energy, all this past karma, my relationships fully shifted. My friendships pretty much vanished. The job and career path that I was on, I thought was my purpose in life of coaching and breathwork. I lost interest in pretty much everything that I was doing, and really just fell into this huge hole, in this void that nothing was working. I tried everything, and on top of it, my system was completely wide open, so I was feeling extremely sensitive to everything. I started to feel everything. I started to have bad TMJ in my jaw, and I couldn't do anything because all the tingling, different sensations I would feel all throughout my body. And my body became this huge sponge for stress all around me. I would try to compensate by being more present with my son, or um, just being very present with every single thing that I was doing, and that was making it worse. So I battled this for about 4 or 5 months, where I would have severe TMJ. I would go to a massage therapist where he would work on it. It would feel good. I'd go home, and it would come right back. And the sensitivity and the pain would just like cripple me and bring me to tears. Um, it was really, really intense. Then I decided to go see a spiritual medium who I saw a few years ago, as this whole experience set me on a journey looking for more answers on how to heal myself. And one of the things I walked away with was when you're highly empathic like I am, you need to close your system down every day, and even when you're going into larger crowds, because how open I am. And I didn't realize all the meditation, all the breath work I was doing to help me combat stress was actually opening up and making the sensitivity even more challenging, because it was opening up my system even more. And just learning this little piece of advice from the medium really helped me. Um, didn't eliminate the sensitivity challenges, but it really helped me cope a lot better. And I struggle with this a lot, especially as a guy uh, growing up in our society where men are taught not to show their emotions and are taught to, toughen it up. And this belief was pretty strong in my upbringing, and being around sports my whole life, and where self-expression in general wasn't really a strong focus in my upbringing throughout my life. And during this time, I went on a deep search of what was going on within me, and I came across two authors. One, Dr. Elaine Aron, who's a research psychologist and published many books on high sensitivity, and Dr. Judith Orleth, who does similar work but more for empaths. And after reading up on a lot of this work, everything started to click. Everything started to make sense of what was going on within me. And that's how I discovered that I was, highly sensitive and empathic. And I know these traits are filled with many gifts, but there are a lot of challenges that do come along with it. And I kept getting nudges throughout my journey to share this part of me, but it kept pulling me back, not wanting to be seen as someone who's sensitive. And, I was always someone that, put on you know, a wall, I guess you could say. And what I realized is that sensitivity is not who you are. It's just a part of you, and that there's many different aspects of who you are. Your ego likes to hold on to these things to help you feel safe, and this was something that I had lots of challenges with. Outside of all these challenges, getting knocked off my career path was the biggest challenge, because it stirred up so many emotions within me. And as a new dad, I wasn't able to provide financially on where I wanted to be, and it broke my heart. I was so frustrated. One, because I didn't know what was going on, but two, I was trying to push my energy up the same mountain, doing the same things that I was doing, but inside I felt so empty. I felt so unmotivated on the path that I was on. So I had to look for other ways to provide to my family, and that that involved me taking on more of a part-time stay-at-home dad role, taking on more house responsibilities, and it was really challenging. Um, it was something that I'll never forget, especially because I had great jobs and career my whole life. So it was like a real big gut check to my ego. And I plan to share a lot of these learnings on what I learned throughout it on my next video. But spending more quality time with my son was something that I'll never forget, and I'll never be able to take back. So I'm super grateful that I was able to have that time with my son. And I battled this for about 4 months, and finally I let go and decided to trust in the universe. And one day I was on YouTube and came across this guy's profile who was creating breathwork music tips and the journeys that I was doing prior to my awakening, except I was using other people's music on my journeys, not my own. So I connected with him on Instagram and asked, I'm like, how hard is it, and how long would it take to learn music production? I had no idea what it would take and how long, but I know music was something that always lit me up, that always, took me, lifted me up during the most challenging times of my life. And I was really passionate about it. And he got back to me and said, hey, it's not as challenging as you think. And long story short, I reached out and said, could you mentor me? And he agreed. And he finally said, let's do this. And I finally felt some sense of purpose again, and realized that by making space within myself, by clearing out all these suppressed emotions, opened up a whole other level of creativity within me. So for about 8 months, I went all in on music and learning from Pavel and other inspiring artists that I met along the way. And any free time that I had, I dedicated to learning everything about music production. And I picked it up rather quick and was really inspired by Pavel. So I decided to start my own YouTube channel. So that's what I did. Each week I would go out into nature and post a breathwork video with my own music on top of it to help people alter their states and to feel good and to uplift them. And it was so much fun and something that helped keep me busy and not worrying about what I would be doing throughout my life. So after creating about 26 videos, I realized I was putting in a lot of energy and work, but not many people were seeing it, or the amount of people that I wanted to be seeing it. And and again, the frustration, the doubt creeped in, and I was left with the thoughts of like, what am I doing here? But again, I fully surrendered into the moment and realized that this is going to be an ongoing growth opportunity for me. Whether it performs well or not, it's something that I find so much joy in. I love doing. For the people that do see it, it's going to help that one person. And that brings me a lot of joy. And the beauty of all this is that it connected me back to my love for music and launched me even more into a self-discovery journey, into my creativity and tapping more into this part of myself that was suppressed and I didn't know I had within me. And at the same time, realizing that since I've been opening up at such a rapid pace, that my sensitivities, that my emotions were really beating me up and causing a lot of inner turmoil within myself. I realized that I was isolating myself in order to protect my energy and not get overwhelmed with emotions. And that's when I decided to get more help. And I came across an energy healer. And we actually had her book on our bookshelf that my partner had purchased in the past, and I had no idea about it, but recognized her name. And one day my son randomly handed me her book off the bookshelf, and I decided to read it. And that's when I discovered a spiritual healer who helped me balance my nervous system and really helped me get my chakras aligned and teach me different, stronger strategies to protect and shield my energy because that was really affecting me. And after going to see her, it really helped. And I left feeling hopeful and balanced that this would all work. And one thing that was like the big shift for me after leaving her is she sparked some curiosity and inspiration in me because she said, Steve, I actually see you as a healer and that you have gifts that you need to develop. And so she invited me to her spiritual awareness group that she's been teaching for over 20 years. And coming out of this conversation with the healer, she put me on a search to explore more about energy healing. And I went to the library for 2 weeks straight to explore and learn whatever I can get my hands on. And the first class I attended of hers, I was partnered up with another woman who performed some energy healing on me. And I asked her what she was doing, and she said pranic healing. And pranic healing is a form of energy healing that was developed by Master Choa Kaksui to help end human suffering. And what it is, it's life force energy that gets channeled through you to help cleanse and energize internal organs, chakras of other people. And it's a systematic, scientific approach to energy healing. It's beautiful. And the funny story with this for me is when I used to work as a coach for Tony Robbins, there was this guy, Master Ko, who used to do all these amazing meditations at his events. And when I was introduced to pranic healing, I remember it sounding familiar, and I was like, yeah, that's what Master Ko was trained in. He was doing all those twin heart meditations with us. So it's pretty cool how everything kind of came full circle for me, because after the class it inspired me to really explore this modality and learn more about pranic healing and energy healing. And I took all these workshops and classes that really just, projected me into this, exploration of opening up my mind to a whole new world. And my journey is just beginning with pranic healing, but I do feel that it's going to be a big part of what I'm going to be doing here in the world, whatever that may be. Anyway, I hope by sharing my journey, it helped provide some comfort and understanding of what you may be going through. I hope this inspires you to keep going, because life will get better. Just as the seasons change, so will you, and you will rebirth into something even more beautiful. In the meantime, be sure to be on the lookout for my next video on some of the lessons that I've learned so far throughout my spiritual awakening journey.